it's Sealclops Book Reviews. I am going to be reviewing today a few books from the Demon Cycle. This is a series written by Peter V. Brett, and I'll be telling you my thoughts and opinions about this series. Enjoy! The Demon Cycle series, written by Peter V. Brett. This series is made up of 5 books, with about 3 novellas or little books that you read in between. I will start off with the very first, of course. So the genre, they are horror, science fiction, fantasy, demons, dystopia, and thriller, primarily. And how do the books compare with other books in the genre, and how do they match up to my expectations of that genre? I love a good fantasy world, the world building, the new creatures and lore, all of it. The first book in this series began very promising. The story revolved around multiple characters from all over the world, leading completely different lives. They are all battling the larger threat of the demons that arise from the core each night. However, the second book takes a turn. Over 250 pages focuses on a single character and his life up until the time frame of book 1. It seems to forget about the demons and focus primarily on politics in a male-ruled world. If anyone knows me, they know that I have trouble reading these sorts of books, unfortunately. But first of all, we will look at book 1, Painted Man. The summary. As darkness falls after sunset, the callings rise. Demons who possess supernatural powers and burn with a consuming hatred of humanity. For hundreds of years, the demons have terrorized the night, slowly culling the human herd that shelters behind magical wards. Symbols of power whose origins are lost in myth and whose protection is terrifyingly fragile. It was not always this way. Once, men and women battled the callings on equal terms, but those days are gone. Night by night, the demons grow stronger, while human numbers dwindle under their relentless assault. Now, with hope for the future fading, 3 young survivors of vicious demon attacks will dare the impossible, stepping beyond the crumbling safety of the wards to risk everything in a desperate quest to regain the secrets of the past. Together, they will stand against the night. So that sounds pretty good, if I do say so myself. The analysis. I loved this book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Plot and theme. The story is comprised of 4 sections spreading across a number of years. Part 1 begins as we are introduced to a young 11-year-old boy called Arlen in the year 319 AR, or after the return. We experience his day-to-day life as he races against the light to get his chores done. As soon as dusk falls, the demons materialize. Known as callings, the demons take shape as soon as the sun sets. They have only one goal: to kill any and all humans they can get their talons into. Arlen wants to fight back, but there are no known ways to kill a demon known to man. At least that is what everyone believes. Next, we are introduced to Leisha, a young girl of 13 who wants nothing more than to flower and marry her betrothed. That is until he betrays her with lies, leaving the town crone to take her under her wing as the next apprentice herb gatherer. Lastly, we are introduced to Roger, a young boy of 5 who must grow up faster than is fair as he is forced to witness the callings, taking everything dear to him in one devastating night. Part 2 continues to follow the 3 main characters' individual lives as they experience their teenage years. Arlen works as a warder to become a messenger. Leisha continues her studies as a herb gatherer, and Roger practices to become a jungler. Part 3 primarily focuses on Arlen as he works to discover who he is. He spends a lot of time in Fort Krasia, the last known place where the people didn't just cower behind wards, but actively fought the demons after dark. From here we go into the conclusive last part of the book where all 3 characters cross paths, bringing the storyline together. Pacing, emotion, ending, and plot holes. Throughout the 544 pages, we pass from the year 319 AR to 332 AR. We follow along as 3 young kids find themselves while battling the everyday challenges brought to them in this dark fantasy world. We are also introduced to the large variety of demons present in the world, the main types being fire, wind, wood, rock, and sand demons. Although the book takes place over 13 years, I did not find the pacing to be rushed. The broad range of emotions allowed me to fall into the story and experience everything with the characters. As part of a high fantasy world, some of the events that unfold can be seen as strange. However, I found the explanations and reasoning to make sense in this particular universe. In fact, they are needed for the story to progress further. This first novel in the Deepened Cycle was an amazing introduction into the series. It ends in a somewhat satisfactory way, not quite a cliffhanger, but with the knowledge that more is to come. The very last sentence works to hint at the contents of the second book, as well as making you want to hit someone. So, yeah. The next book in the series is technically book 1.5, which is The Great Bazaar and Brian's Gold. You can read this book a bit later on, however, I find that it best fits into this part of the series. A little bit about them. It's actually two little stories. It's 1.5 and 1.6. So Brian's Gold, you should read first, even though the title's the other way around. This short story follows the apprentice messenger Arlen Bales as he makes his first overnight trip away from the city of Milne. Instead, the 17-year-old finds himself alone on a frozen mountainside, carrying dangerous thunder sticks to a remote mining town. The Great Bazaar. Once again, we join Arlen Bales, now 20 years old, as he attempts to find lost treasures from the old world. As he adventures across the desert to find some pottery from a long-lost pottery artist, he discovers much more than he was expecting, barely getting away with his life. Now, the reason you have to read these two little stories before you go into book 2 is because they go back in time a little bit. So when the first book finishes, Arlen, if I remember correctly, is about 23, but then it goes back and these stories take place when he is both 17 and then 20. So to continue forward, you need to read this and then go to book 2. Book 2 is called The Desert Spear. Now, I own all of the physical copies of these books. I read them all as paperback, or the novellas are all little hardbacks or hard copies. And then I alternate as I do reading some on my phone. Unfortunately, I could not finish this book. So I was so upset. I tried so hard to read this book as I absolutely loved the first book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I mean, I don't do that too often. I gave it 1 star because I did not finish it. I couldn't actually properly rate it. I really tried. Like, I even got the audiobooks and tried to listen to them while doing other things, and I just couldn't do it. I wasn't focusing. Going back into what I wrote, I absolutely loved the first book in the series and was really looking forward to reading the remaining 4 books. But after attempting to read The Desert Spear for over 3 months without even making it through the first 100 pages, I made the hard decision to put the book aside. The first third of the book shows the life of Jardir from a young age to the fearsome and cruel man he is in The Painted Man. I'm not a fan of this character at all and felt like it was a slug to read from his point of view. The Crasians are also hard to read about. I understand the different beliefs and religions, but what I could not wrap my head around was the constant and pointless accounts of rape and abuse that was scattered throughout the book for no apparent reason other than to show that the warriors were men. Like I said, I didn't even get past the first 100 pages, and there was at least 3 or 4 accounts of rape that took place in that first 100 pages. I just couldn't do it. So, unfortunately, the recommendation, I was extremely disappointed with this series. I really tried to push through and finish the series, but I couldn't even make it past the second book. The first book was amazing. I would highly recommend giving it a go and forgetting about the rest of the series. Unfortunately, that will leave you wondering how the story ends, like myself. And because I couldn't even finish it, I crossed out my star rating because it's not fair. I can't give it a proper review without having at least read all of the books. So yeah, I cannot give this series proper review as I did not finish the series. An amazing first book with disappointing books that followed. Thank you for watching my book review on the Demon Cycle series written by Peter V. Brett. I know a few people who absolutely love this series, and I really, really wanted to love this series. If you have any pointers on finishing it off, because I do own all of them and I'd like to finish it off one day, please let me know and tell me your thoughts as well on the books. Thank you for watching. Bye.